All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses gratitude to vaccine manufacturers, doctors and frontline workers for helping India achieve 100 crore vaccination mark. Prime Minister also thanks world leaders for their compliments on India's historic achievement. Prime Minister to address the nation at 10 this morning. Supreme Court says farmers have right to protest but they cannot keep roads blocked indefinitely. Himachal Pradesh government procures record amount of apple in over a decade. SEBI asks investment advisors to refrain from dealing in digital gold. Global terror financing watchdog FATF retains Pakistan on its grey list. Turkey also added to the list. And in men's T20 Cricket World Cup, Bangladesh beat Papua New Guinea to qualify for the Super 12 stage. As India has created history by vaccinating 100 crore people against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. India has scripted history, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said yesterday, as the cumulative COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country surpassed the 100 crore milestone. Inaugurating the Infosys Foundation Vishram Sadan at National Cancer Institute Jhajjar campus of AIIMS, New Delhi, the Prime Minister said, the vaccination milestone is a triumph of Indian science, enterprise and collective spirit of 130 crore Indians.
भारत ने 100 करोड़ वैक्सीन डोज का आंकड़ा पार कर लिया है। 100 साल में आई सबसे बड़ी महामारी का मुकाबला करने के लिए देश के पास अब 100 करोड़ वैक्सीन डोज का मजबूत सुरक्षा कवच है। ये उपलब्धि भारत की है, भारत के प्रत्येक नागरिक की है। मैं देश की वैक्सीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनियां, वैक्सीन लगाने में जुटे हेल्थ सेक्टर के प्रोफेशनल्स सभी का हृदय से बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also asserted that the government is striving to offer world-class medical infrastructure facilities for the people of the country, especially in the testing times of COVID-19. Under the world's largest vaccination drive, as India touched the billion vaccination mark, close to 300 million people are fully vaccinated. The double vaccination coverage is more than the entire population of Indonesia, Pakistan or Brazil, the most populous countries in the world after China, India and the United States. In fact, it is close to the entire population of the US as well. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the nation at 10 a.m. today. In a tweet, the Prime Minister's office informed about this.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has thanked the world leaders for their wishes on India crossing 100 crore vaccinations. Mr. Modi said that vaccine accessibility is a key to fighting the pandemic. Replying to Prime Minister of Bhutan, Leonchen Dr. Lote Shering, Mr. Modi thanked him for his kind words on this historic occasion. He said India deeply cherished its friendship with Bhutan. Replying to Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Mahinda Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Modi said recent initiatives such as inaugural international flight to Kushinagar from Sri Lanka and the respective vaccination drives will further strengthen the diverse relationship and enhance interaction between our brotherly people. Replying to President of Maldives, Ibrahim Mohammed Solih, Prime Minister said he is pleased to see the progress of the vaccination drive in the Maldives. Replying to Prime Minister of Israel, Naftali Bennett, Mr. Modi said this milestone has been made possible by India's scientists health workers and innovators who are also, along with their Israeli counterparts, building the foundations of a knowledge-based strategic partnership. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has welcomed the support and partnership from Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, in the global fight against COVID-19. Replying to Mr. Ghebreyesus in Twitter, Mr. Modi said, "This reaffirms the Indian philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam." He said the need of the hour is to ensure vaccine equity globally. The Prime Minister said India's vaccine century is a key milestone in that direction. Earlier, Director General of the World Health Organization congratulated India for achieving the 100 crore vaccination mark. In a tweet, Dr. Ghebreyesus congratulated Mr. Modi, the scientists, health workers and people of India for efforts to protect the vulnerable population from COVID-19 and achieve vaccine equity targets.
President Ram Nath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other ministers have congratulated the people of the country on achieving the 100 crore vaccine target. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed gratitude to the doctors, nurses and all those who worked to achieve this feat. Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah described the achievement as a historic and a proud moment. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has also congratulated the countrymen on the achievement of administering 100 crore doses of COVID vaccines. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur has saluted the unparalleled contribution of India's efficient leadership, scientists and the dedication of health workers. Bharat Biotech Chairman and Managing Director Dr. Krishna Ella has said reaching the 1 billion mark of COVID-19 vaccinations in just 9 months is a remarkable achievement for India. He further said this was possible due to the unified effort of the government, vaccine manufacturers, healthcare workers and all the vaccinated citizens of the country, making it a true success story of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
We all should be proud of that, what India has done it. I think the credit goes to scientists of this country and also the government system that delivered the vaccine to the last mile of the delivery. And I think that's significant progress. I think we've proven to the world the Indian industry can do it and Indian government system can deliver the vaccine to the last mile.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually address the national level conclave of Indian Air Force to be inaugurated by the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in Bengaluru today. The conclave is part of the events organized to celebrate the Swarnim Vijay Varsh, the golden jubilee of our victory in the 1971 Indo-Pak War. The decisive and historic victory over the Pak army secured by our armed forces is celebrated as Vijay Divas every year.
Supreme Court has said that farmers have the right to protest, but they cannot keep roads blocked indefinitely. A bench comprising Justices Sanjay Kishan Kaul and M.M. Sundaresh said that people have a right to go on the roads. It cannot be blocked. The Apex Court gave 3 weeks to farmers' bodies to respond to a petition seeking directions to the authorities to end blockades of roads connecting the NCR to Delhi by farmers protesting against agricultural laws. The Supreme Court was hearing a petition filed by women resident of Noida seeking direction to ensure the road between Noida and Delhi is kept clear for smooth traffic movement. The court has posted the matter for further hearing on December 7th. Himachal Pradesh government has procured record amount of apple this season in over a decade. The HPMC and HIMFED have procured the apple via Market Intervention Scheme MIS. These include over 35,000 MT by HPMC and 33,000 MT by HIMFED. This is the maximum HIMFED has procured in over a decade. Last year, it had bought 18,000 MT. For HPMC too, this is a record procurement over the past decade or so. Talking to AIR News, Himachal Pradesh Agriculture Minister Virender Kanwar said both the organizations have procured over 58,000 MT.
हिमाचल प्रदेश के अंदर सेब हिमाचल की एक बहुत बड़ी आर्थिकी है, जिसमें किसान जो हैं वो पूरी तरह से सेब के ऊपर जो है वो निर्भर करते हैं। इस बार हिमाचल प्रदेश में सेब की एक बम्पर क्रॉप जो है हुई है, जिसमें हमने MIS के माध्यम से जहां हिमफेड एजेंसी ने जो प्रोक्योरमेंट की है, जिसमें 23,000 मैट्रिक टन हमने सेब जो है इस बार परचेज किया और उसी तरह से जो हमारी जो दूसरी एजेंसी है HPMC, इसने 35,000 मैट्रिक टन सेब जो है वो खरीदा, यानी कुल हमने 58,000 मैट्रिक टन सेब जो है वो इस बार MIS के माध्यम से खरीदा। जो बिल्कुल खराब सेब होता है उसको सरकार जो है वो किसानों की भलाई के लिए जो उठाती है।
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, CCEA, has approved PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, including institutional framework for rolling out, implementation, monitoring and support mechanism for providing multimodal connectivity. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had launched PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan for multimodal connectivity on 13th of October. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur said implementation framework includes empowered group of secretaries, network planning group and technical support unit with required technical competencies. Empowered group of secretaries EGOS will be headed by Cabinet Secretary and will consist of secretaries of 18 ministries as members and head of logistics division as member convener. The Cabinet has approved release of an additional installment of DNS allowance DA to the central government employees and DNS relief to pensioners. Speaking to reporters in New Delhi on Cabinet decision, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur said DNS allowance for central government employees has been hiked by 3% from 28 to 31%. He said the additional installment will be effective from 1st July this year. He said 47,14,000 central government employees and 68,62,000 pensioners will be benefited.
इस वर्ष जुलाई में कर्मचारियों के डीए की 3 बकाया किस्तें हैं, उसकी बहाली को अनुमोदित किया गया था और डीए की दर को 17% से बढ़ाकर 28% किया गया था। इस क्रम में जो निर्णय लिया गया है कि केंद्र सरकार के कर्मचारियों को 1 जुलाई 2021 से देय महंगाई भत्ता और जो पेंशनर्स है उनको महंगाई राहत में 3% की वृद्धि करते हुए इसे वर्तमान 28% से बढ़ाकर 31% किया गया है।
The Election Commission has issued advisory to political parties and contesting candidates for compliance of Model Code of Conduct during by-elections. It has asked them not to organize any political activities directly related to the by-elections, even in the areas adjoining the district or constituency where the by-elections are being held. The Commission said district election officers concerned will ensure that the Model Code of Conduct instructions and COVID guidelines relating to the norms of social distancing are followed in the districts adjoining to the poll-going district or constituency. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses gratitude to vaccine manufacturers, doctors and frontline workers for helping India achieve 100 crore vaccination mark. Prime Minister also thanks world leaders for their compliments on India's historic achievement. Prime Minister to address the nation at 10 this morning. Supreme Court says farmers have the right to protest, but they cannot keep roads blocked indefinitely. Himachal Pradesh government procures record amount of apple in over a decade. SEBI asks investment advisors to refrain from dealing in digital gold. Global terror financing watchdog FATF retains Pakistan on its grey list. Turkey also added to the list. And in men's T20 Cricket World Cup, Bangladesh beat Papua New Guinea to qualify for the Super 12 stage. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Capital Markets Regulator SEBI has asked investment advisors to refrain from dealing in digital gold, which is an unregulated product. This came after SEBI noted that some registered investment advisors are engaged in unregulated activity by providing a platform for buying, selling or dealing in unregulated products, including digital gold. SEBI further said any dealing in unregulated activities by investment advisors may entail action under the SEBI Act and regulations framed thereunder. In August, the National Stock Exchange NSE had directed its members, including stockbrokers, to discontinue the sale of digital gold on their platforms by September the 10th. The direction came after the capital markets regulator noted that certain members are providing a platform to their clients for buying and selling digital gold. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
On 22nd of October 1900 was born Ashfaq Ullah Khan in Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh. Growing up, Khan heard stories from his eldest brother about the bravery and Urdu poetry of Ram Prasad Bismil. When the 1922 Chaura Chauri incident prompted Gandhi to end the non-cooperation movement, Khan was one of the many youngsters left disappointed.
In the mid-1920s, Khan and Bismil went on to found the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association HSRA, with the aim of winning freedom for the country through an armed revolution. Khan had a flair for Urdu poetry and wrote under the pseudonyms Varsi and Hasrat Shahjahanpuri.
He wrote at length about the British conspiracy in India.
फूट डालकर शासन करने की चाल का हम पर कोई असर नहीं होगा और हिंदुस्तान आजाद होकर रहेगा. Your conspiracy to divide and rule India will not work. We will make Hindustan free. An armed struggle required finances. Thus, to arrange for the finances, Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaq Ullah Khan and 9 other members of the group planned to carry out train robbery. On the 9th of August 1925, Kakori Express was going from Shahjahanpur to Lucknow.
The train was carrying money that had been collected at various railway stations and was to be deposited in Lucknow. Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaq Ullah Khan and other revolutionaries stopped the train and fled with the cash they found in it.
They were arrested within a month of the robbery. The trial for the case went on for about 18 months and ended in April 1927. Ashfaq Ullah Khan, Ram Prasad Bismil, Rajendra Lahiri, Roshan Singh were sentenced to death and the others were given life sentences.
At the age of 27, Ashfaq Ullah Khan was hanged in Faizabad jail. When asked about his last wish, he said,
कुछ आरज़ू नहीं है आरज़ू तो ये है, रख दे कोई जरा सी खाक वतन कफन में.
A memorial grave was set up in his hometown of Shahjahanpur.
Vitthal Bhai Patel left for his heavenly abode on the 22nd of October 1933. An acclaimed leader and a humanist, Vitthal Bhai Patel was the elder brother of Sardar Vallabh Bhai Patel and a renowned freedom fighter.
Also on this day in 1947, Pakistan invaded Kashmir. When India got independence and was partitioned to create Pakistan in August 1947, Jammu and Kashmir was a princely state ruled by Hari Singh.
2 months after the independence, on October the 22nd, thousands of tribal mercenaries and Pakistan Army regulars invaded the Kashmir Valley, overrunning the outposts manned by the King's forces in Muzaffarabad and other places as they headed towards Srinagar, their ultimate target.
In this background of devastation, Hari Singh reached out to the Indian government in Delhi. He signed the instrument of accession, and the Indian troops started landing in Jammu and Kashmir on October the 27th. The Indian troops launched a counter-attack. By November the 8th, the Indian forces secured Srinagar, the seat of the princely state.
The pushback continued till mid-November, when the scale of war was reduced. The war continued with lower intensity till the end of 1948. The ceasefire agreement was officially signed in January 1949.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar AIR News ke Sang. See you in the next episode tomorrow. UK Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs Elizabeth Truss will arrive in New Delhi today on a 3-day visit to India. During her stay in New Delhi, Ms. Truss will hold talks with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar today on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. As part of the visit, Ms. Truss will travel to Mumbai tomorrow. During the India-UK virtual summit between the two Prime Ministers on 4th of May this year, the bilateral relationship between the two nations was elevated to comprehensive strategic partnership. The ties have been marked by regular high-level exchanges and growing cooperation in diverse areas. Financial Action Task Force FATF has retained Pakistan on its grey list. FATF President Marcus Player announced that the decision was taken after a 3-day-long plenary session of the Global Terror Financing Watchdog in Paris yesterday. He said Pakistan government failed to comply with 4 of action points out of 34-point action plan given by FATF. 3 other countries, Turkey, Mali and Jordan, have been added to the FATF grey list. FATF also expressed concern over the current evolving money laundering and terrorist financing risk environment in Afghanistan after Taliban took control of the nation. Pakistan was placed on the grey list by the FATF in June 2018 for failing to check money laundering leading to terror financing.
In Kerala, a red alert has been issued for Idukki Dam following the increase of inflow into the reservoir from its catchment areas. Official sources said the water level in the reservoir is currently at 2,398.30 feet, constituting 94.47% of its full capacity. The dam's full reservoir level is 2,403 feet. 100 cumecs of water is being released into the reservoir through 3 shutters of Cherutoni Dam since last Tuesday. Cherutoni is the only outlet for water release from Idukki Reservoir. Meanwhile, the IMD has issued yellow alerts for 10 districts in the state today, indicating the possibility of moderate rainfall. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur has said that the 52nd edition of International Film Festival of India, IFFI, will be held from 20th to 28th November this year in Goa. He said Martin Scorsese and Istvan Sabo will be honoured with Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award. Mr. Thakur said record 624 films from 96 countries have been received for the international section. He said the king of all the world, El Rey de Todo el Mundo, directed by Carlos Saura, has been selected as the opening film. Mr. Thakur said for the first time ever, IFFI has invited major OTT players to participate at the festival. He said BRICS Film Festival is to be held alongside IFFI. In a major announcement, Mr. Anurag Thakur said that IFFI will provide a platform to young budding talent from across India to connect with mainstream cinema filmmakers and the industry. He said 75 creative minds under 35 years will be invited to interact with industry leaders and attend master classes at the festival.
Union Culture and Tourism Minister G. Kishan Reddy has assured all possible assistance to develop the tourism sector in Telangana. He said the centre has decided to develop several temples and monuments like Jogulamba Group of Temples, Golconda Fort, Charminar and Qutub Shahi tombs in the state. Along with the State Tourism Minister V. Srinivas Gaud and officials of the Archaeological Survey of India ASI, the Union Minister visited the historic Ramappa Temple in Mulugu district yesterday. After offering special prayers, the Minister inspected the temple compound wall, which is under the jurisdiction of the ASI. He discussed the plans for the development of the temple by improving the amenities as international tourist footfall was expected to go up in the coming days since this architectural marvel was inscribed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in July this year. The Union Ministers also unveiled the plaque of the World Heritage Site and development works completed at the temple. Karnataka swimmer Riddhima Virendra Kumar came up with yet another record-breaking performance at the 37 Sub-Junior and 47 Junior National Championships as she bagged the gold medal in 50m backstroke for Group 2 girls in Bengaluru yesterday. Riddhima got off to a quick start and built on a lead with powerful strokes to clock 29.94 seconds to erase Mana Patel's record of 30.37 seconds created in 2014.
In the men's T20 World Cup, Bangladesh beat Papua New Guinea by 84 runs to qualify for the Super 12 stage. Bangladesh first posted an imposing 181 for 7 as they rode on skipper Mahmudullah's blazing 50 off 28 balls and Shakib's aggressive 46 off 37 balls. Shakib then showed why he is Bangladesh's greatest ever cricketer with a brilliant spell of 4 for 9 in his 4-over spell, as Papua New Guinea were all out for 97 in 19.3 overs. Chasing 182, Papua New Guinea was never on course for a comfortable chase. They lost openers Lega Siaka 5 and skipper Asad Wala 6 cheaply. And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 8 and 20 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh is likely to witness generally cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Most dailies lead with news of India reaching the milestone on Thursday of 1 billion COVID vaccines. Big milestone for Vax Drive, billion doses and counting, writes the Hindustan Times. The challenge ahead is how to boost coverage of second dose, opines the Indian Express. Centre's Vax Drive to cover the entire adult population by year end, reports the Hindu Business Line. If poor nations are not given jabs, COVID to stay in 2022, warns the Pioneer, quoting WHO, which further reveals that only 5% people in Africa have got vaccine doses. You can't occupy roads forever, Supreme Court cautions farmers, writes the Asian Age. SC says farmers have the right to protest, but can't block roads, headlines the Hindu. India relents on Afghan aid, but won't recognize interim government yet, reports the Tribune. Landslides in Kerala are a result of human greed, writes the Pioneer. And finally, heat waves, droughts had worst impact on health in 2020, says the latest report from Lancet, reports the Statesman.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses gratitude to vaccine manufacturers, doctors and frontline workers for helping India achieve 100 crore vaccination mark. Prime Minister also thanks world leaders for their compliments on India's historic achievement. Prime Minister to address the nation at 10 this morning. Supreme Court says farmers have right to protest, but they cannot keep roads blocked indefinitely. Himachal Pradesh government procures record amount of apple in over a decade. SEBI asks investment advisors to refrain from dealing in digital gold. Global terror financing watchdog FATF retains Pakistan on its grey list. Turkey also added to the list. And in men's T20 Cricket World Cup, Bangladesh beat Papua New Guinea to qualify for the Super 12 stage. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. With that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.